The free appropriate public education, by definition, is the educational right of all children in the United States, guaranteed by the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, also referred to as IDEA. Now, a case I'd like to mention is a very important one, and it helped to establish the importance of the free and public education for all students with special needs and disabilities. The Board of Education versus Rowley took place in 1982. The United States Supreme Court took this case concerning the interpretation of the Revised Education for All Handicapped Children Act of 1975. Amy Rowley was a deaf student whose school refused to provide her with a sign language interpreter. The school administrators, along with sign language experts, determined Amy was able to succeed without any interpreter. Amy's parents then sued the school district on her behalf for the violation of the Education of All Handicapped Children Act of 1975. This act does give schools discretion on what steps to take to accommodate handicapped students. This act also requires all schools that accept federal funds to provide Fape, a free and public education, to all handicapped students. The holding of the case, the court ruled in favor of the Rowley family. Although Amy was doing well relative to other handicapped students, she was not achieving up to her full potential. Now, the reasoning and test, the legal rationale for this holding: educators have a responsibility to provide a free and appropriate public education to all students in the United States of America, according to the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which was revised in 1975, and IDEA. Rowley's diagnosis of deafness means that she is unable to process educator language to her fullest potential. She is hard of hearing, and so she is requiring a personalized sign language interpreter. And this is covered under IDEA. It's something they failed to recognize, the school district. This does require them, the school district, to provide sufficient special education services to the Rowley family and others in the United States of America, so that all of them with these special needs of hearing can achieve their full potential for learning. I want to give you a scenario to think about now. So put on your thinking caps and just consider: a school is not accurately recording the behavior of a student with an individualized education plan. So an IEP has been formed. What happens? What are the consequences for not setting up the student's daily schedule before starting each school day? What if the social stories pertaining to that student are not properly used and communicated? What if they are not ordered, the student, to go to the quiet room after all incidences of misbehavior? So what if the school district's not following through with an IEP that's been established for a student who had showcased behavioral management problems? Well, the outcome, this happened, and it has continued to happen across the states. Since Rowley, there have been several substantial violations of the IDEA. Failure to implement Fape with behavioral management plans for students with IEPs can have severe consequences for school districts and future school administrators. For example, in the case of Van Dyne versus the Baker School District, plaintiffs claimed their student was denied free and appropriate public education, because their school did not provide the math instruction required by his IEP, and it failed to properly implement his behavior management plan. The court found these claims to allege substantial violations of the IDEA. And so it's important to realize FAPE is real, and we have to enforce it to provide a quality education to all students.